One, three. Welcome back, everyone! Yes, buhay pang R&R. Ang dami na nagchichismis. Sabi na, bakit parang since elections, hindi na kaya nag-usap ni Sir Ronald what happened to R&R sa mga iba't ibang bansa, sa Europe, papunta dito. Ang daming nagsabi, bakit wala kayong analysis ni Sir Ronald? Chinichismis tuloy tayo. Sinasabi na, meron na rin ba kayong tension katulad ng kabilang channel? Sabi ko, hindi walang issue. Sabi naman yung mga DDS, sumablay lang analysis na ayun na makipag-interview sa isa't isa. So, Sir Ronald, since last time we met, na akala natin medyo maitlog yung mga kaibigan natin sa Senado, here we
Hmm.
are. Number two, Bam Aquino. Number five, Kiko Pangilinan. Of course, the Akbayan one is even a more pleasant surprise. Best performance ever, right? I mean, hindi naman ito first time na tatlo yung nakapasok, but this is the biggest share of total votes, right? Almost 7%. Kamusta, Sir Ronald?
Yes, that's the highest party list votes sa history ng party list system sa Pilipinas. So, hindi lang yan highest, no? Alam ko yung AXIS dati naka 2.6, ito almost 2.8, no? Yung Bayan Muna naka 1.7 before. So, ito yung highest so far.
Grabe, no? Talagang through the
At
roof.
hindi nila kita sa survey.
Which is the first place I want to start with you. Let's be fair to ourselves, Sir Ronald. The reason why you and I were a bit skeptical, and nagte-text tayo, diba? Just before the results were coming, we're both very worried. So just to be transparent, both of us were very worried na baka kahit isa hindi makapasok. We were looking at scenarios of, I don't know, three or four DDS, six or seven admin, one or two independent, Villame, Ben Tulfo. And next thing you know, wow, Sir Ronald, number two si Bama, number five si Kiko Pangilinan. Kailangan ba natin itapon na sa Pasig River yung mga polling agency or baka hindi nila na-capture yung kasi in fairness naman sa polling agency late April lahat. So maybe in the last 2 weeks some big movements happen because some internal surveys I look at, hindi ko na sabihin anong company yan. Sabi niya 21% ng Gen Z and millennials ay nagde-decide sa election day mismo. So baka naman there were certain things na we did not see in the final days at baka that may explain bakit parang sobrang off yung mga surveys. Ikaw, Sir Ronald, anong basa mo?
Well, usually kasi nakalagay din naman sa survey results yung undecided eh. Ibig sabihin, naka-factor in din naman yun eh. At wala namang lumabas na ganun kalaki yung undecided para dramatically maapektuhan yung result nung election. Ako naman, I will defer judgment. Hihintayin ko yung kanilang sariling internal analysis. Hopefully, meron silang collective analysis kung ano nangyari. Ah, ang problema kasi sa atin, isa sa binabatayan natin when we analyze ay yung surveys. Di ba? Hindi naman inaasahan na masyado kang malayo dun sa mga surveys. No? Ikalawa, ano yung gagawin ng mga major actors involved sa election? The opposition, the administration, and everything in between. Halimbawa, talagang nag-fumble yung administration. Yung dapat na sila yung pinakamalakas as an incumbent, sila yung dapat nagwe-weaponize ng mga issues laban sa kalaban, yung sila dapat yung may dominance sa machinery, lahat yun hindi nangyari. Lahat yun hindi nangyari. Kaya epic fail. At siguro yun yung topic natin tonight, no? What happened after that? Ano yung ginagawa ngayon ng administration in terms of crisis management? Or else, at the very least, there will be an early lame duck or worse. No, kaya yun yung isang pinanggagalingan natin, no. Ano ba yung dapat ginawa ng mga major actors dito? Parang masyadong off, masyadong malayo doon sa dapat nilang ginawa, no. Pwede mo naman bigyan ng counting margin eh. Oy, ganito yung space doon sa kanilang dapat ginawa at hindi ginawa. Pero yung ganun kalawak na difference, halimbawa sa result ng survey, sa dapat ginawa ng administration, parang yun ang unexpected. Yun ang unexpected.
So
Pero
mas
hindi
epic fail
excuse
sa'yo, Sir Ronald, yung admin kaysa yung surveys. Kasi we talked to some of the survey people, di ba? In fairness, si Ronald Holmes, I think his understanding is that yung Gen Z vote maybe hindi masyado na-capture ng surveys, youth vote. Sila Cleve, ang argument nila is statistically speaking, 2 to 3% more than standard deviation numbers on average yung nangyari. So talagang even by historical standards, medyo off talaga yung mga surveys in general. Wala naman tayong exit poll last time I checked. So again, mahirap pag-aralan what exactly happened. So we're really trying to make educated guesses here. But before we talk about epic fail of admin and, di ba Sir Ronald, may isang Hidarian na walang nga, sabi niya, dapat si Sarah maging DND secretary na para
Oh,
yun.
dami nang text sa akin eh. Sabi ko sinabi ko na yun. Sabi ko, gugulpihin ko yun. No? Sabi ko, dami nang text sa akin eh.
Sarcastic!
Sabi daw, ibalik daw sa kwan. Oh, miss nila yung kwan eh. Na-miss
Oo.
nila yung sarcasm mo.
Ay,
No?
naku, ayan na naman tayo.
Ano na, reflective yan sa pagtingin nila sa'yo.
This was with Gretchen, no,
Kasi
na,
hindi nila sila na capable kang sabihin yon.
well, I mean, I'm capable of saying many things, Sir Ronald. Wag lang sana ako ma-persona non grata sa QC mismo, baka mamaya. But Sir Ronald, before pag-usapan natin ng epic fail, what are your working theories dito? Kasi, again, you were saying na dun sa surveys, wala na masyadong market vote or undecided. But maybe that was also wrong kasi yung internal consumer sentiment surveys I saw is that actually marami pa rin undecided na Gen Z or pwede magpalit. Kasi if you look at it, marami rin undervoting pala nangyari. Diba? There were a lot of people at the end of the day, they didn't vote 12. There are a lot of people who made certain adjustments here and there. And there's sample ballots. Anong basa mo sa mga sample ballots? Because I saw a lot of sample ballots from Cordillera to Mindanao na Bam Aquino. And Kiko, parati na dyan, Kiko Bam, even if PDP, even if admin, it looks like sinakyan sila ng both sides. They won both sides.
Anecdotal yan eh. Anecdotal yan. Pero may possibility na yung mga anti-Marcos, no, na mga Duterte ay mas pinili sila over the Marcos candidates. Pwede rin na yung mga anti-Duterte na mga Marcos people ay mas pinili sila over the Duterte candidate. So, pwedeng ganun. Dahil ang nakapasok yung si Camille naman at saka si Aimee, kahit nandun nangangalib sila, nandun sila sa bingit. Nandun sila sa dulo. Ang talagang dramatic yung pagpasok si Marcoleta na miyembro ng Iglesia ni Cristo, no? Mula dun sa Duterte camp. Yung si Bam at saka yung si Kiko could be several factors. Una, buhay pala. Buhay na buhay pala yung pink wave.
Pink movement. Oh, Sir Ronald.
Hindi naman boboto ng Duterte nor Marcos.
Correct.
Diba? So, malaking value added yon kay Kiko at saka kay Bam. Kumbaga sila lang ang dadali nun. At ikalawa, yung pinag-uusapan natin kanina, posible, in the absence of numbers crunching, na yung mga BBM ay mas pinili sila over the DDS at yung mga DDS mas pinili sila over the BBM.
Exactly. More than kurot both sides eh. They got scratched.
Yung sinasabi na Gen Z na undecided daw, na sana lumabas din sa survey as undecided. No? Hindi ko alam kung ano talaga nangyari doon. No? Pero ang alam ko, halimbawa sa Akbayan, kahit hindi siya ganun kataas sa surveys, no, ay sa mga mock election, sa mga schools and universities, either number 1 siya or number 2. Kumbaga anecdotally, in the absence again of
exit polls,
forensic analysis dito sa party list votes, ay yun ang na-notice namin. Na laging number 1 or number 2 ang Akbayan dun sa mga university mock elections. Dun sa mga school mock elections.
Ito ba yung mga children? Sir Ronald, what about the children factor?
Children factor. No? May nadaluhan ako ng ilang campus tours, no? Lagi mataas ang Akbayan. Of course, medyo skeptical kami dahil dati kasi lumalabas din yan eh. Pero ngayon, medyo naiiba. Medyo naiiba ngayon, no? Kaya yun yung isang factor. Pero again, wala kasing forensic analysis eh. Ang usapan natin ay mga educated.
This is an educated guess, exactly. But Sir Ronald, just to be fair about this, I mean, again, this is anecdotal and it's not representative sample, but I also saw lots of stories online about, and this is not to overcredit people, pero marami nagsabi na ba't yung nanay nila or tita nila, biglang akbayan na rin sila, hindi lang dahil kay children or kay Cheljok no factor, pero kunyari napanood daw nila si Ronald Llamas or si Christian Esguerra or si Hidarian or si Kristan, natuwa daw sila dun sa mga nakikita nilang online kasi halos lahat akbayan yung sinasabi na positibo. So kumbaga, yun baka may effect din palang social media without us knowing, because again, if you look at the surveys, both the internal and the others, ang lakas ng social media influencers influence nila in these elections almost at the same level of traditional media, at least the numbers I saw. So I want to rule out the possibility na hindi lang Gen Z, baka may mga Gen X or even boomers na bumoto dito dahil baka napanood niya si Ronald Llamas at natuwa sila sa akbayan. I mean, you never know, di ba, Sir Ronald? Again, not to
Sana,
create
sana.
drama, but it could be a factor.
Sana. Pero ayun nga, wala kasing exit polls. Tapos wala pang talagang intensive analysis ng mga boto. Pero mahirap kasi magbuhat ng sariling bangko eh. No? Kaya
Sir Ronald, kaya nga sabi ko, I was very clear na this is not to overcredit. Ako, the Chell factor was big, obviously. Chell Jokno being there obviously helped a lot. And of course, yung grassroots movement. But for instance, Akbayan did so well also in Davao. How do you explain that? Is it the organizational presence on the ground?
hmm. Well, halimbawa nga, kasabay niyan, may mga local candidates na anti-Duterte na nanalo. Halimbawa, si Kakabagaw, nanalo as congressman, no? Sa Mindanao, 'di ba? Na akala natin ay solid Duterte, no? Yung si Bautista, nanalo labang kay Cynthia Villar, 'di ba? Kung yun, member ng FASAP Union yun, no? Na inorganize kasama ang akbayan sa nag-organize, no? So marami ring mga local na nanalo. Halimbawa, yung binibilang namin yung mga pinatakbo namin na hindi naman ganun karami, mayor, councilors, no? Congressmen. Malaki ang kwan, malaki ang mga pagkapanalo nila, mga victories nila. So it could be several factors na nakaapekto.
Absolutely, sir. Factors. Just to be clear also.
Pero yung
Hmm,
dagdag ko lang, halimbawa, yung Risa factor, dahil si Risa lumabas
right.
kasama ng bayan sa mga ads, no? At syempre, si Risa ay nag-iisang oposisyon sa Senado, tingin ko malaking factor yon. At siya rin yung campaign manager ni Bam at saka ni Kiko, no? At nung mga allies nila, nakatulong yon,
Check
nakadagdag
ba?
yon, no?
Check ba?
Organizationally at sa market votes, no? Hindi kasi masyadong nakikita si Risa as the campaign manager eh. Pero nandun siya behind the scenes, no, endorsing mga candidates, etc. No? Halimbawa, yung mga TV ads ng Akbayan, basically si Risa yung nandun. Oo. Pero
Oo.
kung ibasa mo yung CPP analysis ng election, iba yung kanilang analysis.
Um, medyo move on muna ako. Sir Ron, I don't want to get into civil war muna. Mamaya na tayo mag-civil war. Ikaw talaga, Sir Ron, bakit yan pang sinend mong huli sa akin? Nasira yung train of thought ko. So, Sir Ron, bago tayo pumunta dun sa mga nagal,
Natuwa lang ako dun sa very scientific
Sir
analysis
Ronald,
ng CPP.
don't squeeze into the wounds. Kumaga, na-delist na nga yung ibang kaibigan natin eh. But
Ay,
before,
wala naman sila kinalaman doon. Ikaw talaga nag-red tagging ka eh.
uy, grabe. Hindi ako sabi nga ng Duterte, galit ng Duterte yun, hindi daw nila maretag yung mga NPA talaga. Sir Ronald, of course, natuwa rin tayo kasi, anyway, bago tayo pumunta dun sa mga nagalit sa akin for jokingly suggesting Sarah become DND secretary, baka galit na ni Sigibo. Pag-usapan natin yung mga ibang nagalit daw sa akin kasi parang sinasabi ko si Bam na lang kaysa kay Risa. Hindi yan totoo just to be clear. I just talk about different options. Obviously, sana tayo noon pa, Diyos ko, ilang taon na tayo nag-Risa ng Risa, di ba? So, Sir Ronald, let's discuss is it important for Risa to, well, some would say as early as now, but some would say appropriately, as of now, saying na bukas na siya maging standard bearer ng opposition because on the record, she has almost what, 100% success rate, Checky Bang, panalo lahat. Big wins. Akbayan, panalo lahat. Big wins. Marami mga local officials, progressives nanalo. Big wins. So, do you think it makes
Kahit yung natalo eh. Katulad nila Heidi Mendoza got
ang ganda,
almost
ganda ng performance?
ah,
Exactly.
got,
Mas mataas kay Willie Revilla may numbers niya.
di ba? Got almost 9 million votes. So kahit yung mga natalo, maganda yung showing. Walang
Panalo pa rin.
makikita,
Oo.
walang resources, walang partido. No? Kami lang
Exactly.
yata nag-endorse kay Heidi Mendoza eh. Akbayan lang eh.
May mga nagbiro nga, sana tumakbo na lang si Ronald at saka si Trillanes sa Senate. Ba't mamaya na tayo kay Sir Trillanes? Kasi interesting din pag-usapan yan.
Biro yun. Biro
Oh,
yun.
no, kasi speaking of, I mean, the open discussion now is should Trillanes be the next DLG secretary? But as I said, there's a 1-year ban, diba, on candidates who didn't make it. So, anyways, before going to the cabinet reshuffle of, kasi ikaw yung
Mm.
number one theorist niyan eh, cabinet reshuffle last year mo pa sinabi. Pag-usapan natin to, do you think it was appropriate for Riza as early as now to signal, or maybe this is the right time for her to signal na siya
Yes,
dapat?
yes.
Because again,
Yes.
just to frame where I'm coming from, Sir Ronald, sorry, again, for the purpose of, baka ma-misunderstand na naman tayo. Ang sinabi ko lang is, Bam also has a strong case about what should be the next step, considering how well he has done, electorally speaking. But of course, I've also expressed my own reservations with Bam's strategy or positioning during elections. And Lenny will always be in the mix, at least based on the surveys. So, yun lang sinabi ko. Hindi, I didn't try to push back against anything. I was just saying, I'm just trying to be fair with different options, which is good. Just to say, we have many good options.
Well, dapat talaga may mag-scale up or else baka mag-dissipate like steam yung dating dormant na awaken na pink movement at yung mga disenchanted do sa unity team na nawasak na naghahabol ng alternative. Kailangan may mag-harness niyan. At nung 2022, nung natalo si Lenny, ang sabi niya, siya mismo ang nagsabi na pinapasa niya yung baton ng leadership kay Risa. Tapos nitong kampanya, si Risa yung nag-campaign manager para dun sa Kiko Bam team, no? At siya rin yung tumulong sa Akbayan and other candidates sa local. So, yun yung kanya naging role. Kailangan may mag-scale up or else baka kung saan mapunta yung kwan na yan, yung movement na yan at yung disenchanted elements ng unity team. So kung may mag-scale up na leader, paano yan? Bahagi na yan ng consolidation, bahagi na yan ng harnessing, bahagi na yan ng pag-focus going into 2028 na baka mabilis dahil going there ay meron kang impeachment na mangyayari, di ba? So, maraming mga developments na mangyayari in between midterm and 2028. Sino yung leader nitong reinvigorated na pink movement na ito? Sino ang magiging leader nitong mga disenchanted elements ng unity team? So, pag wala mag-scale up, pasa-pasa na naman, process na naman, no? Workshop na naman, baka mawala yan. So habang ginagawa yan, kailangan may mag-float ng pangalan. Dahil parang si Lenny, mayor, at ang sabi nga niya, wala siyang interest na tumakbo para sa national position. So, nanalo si Bam, number 2, baka interesado siya. No? Pero yung logical kasi, batay dun sa pinasahan ng baton ni Lenny noong 2022 at yung nag-scale up as senator, practically lone senator dito sa interregnum na ito from the presidency of Digong hanggang kay Marcos ay si Risa. At yung nag-campaign manager dito sa Kiko Bam campaign plus ay si Risa. At yung tumulong sa mga ibang mga puwersa like Akbayan, yung mga local candidates, si Risa. So, illogical lang yon. Pero hindi ibig sabihin na siya na. Siyempre, baka magkaroon pa dyan ng primaries, no?
Yun nga,
Hirap
inisip ko, baka kailangan ng primaries.
primaries kung,
Kiko
kung
can
iba-iba
also make
kayo.
a case. Yeah,
O,
Kiko also can
mas
make a
madali
case.
hindi, madali mag-primaries kung isang partido kayo. Pero kung iba-iba kayo, iba-ibang level, may movement, may partido, merong semi-party, hindi ganun kadaling mag-primaries. Di ba? Ang nagpa-primary o Democratic Party o Republican Party, etc. Yun madaling mag-primaries. Pero sa atin, hindi tayo sanay eh. No? At medyo iba-iba yung level ng mga organisasyon. Merong mga organizations, may mga movements, may mga parties, and everything in between. Parang, paano mo ipa-primary yan? No? So, bagaman mahirap, ay baka pwedeng gumawa ng framework para
Yeah,
magkaroon semblance of a primary para united yung lahat ng forces going into 2028, which will be one of the most decisive elections in our modern history.
absolutely. It could define what will happen for the next decades to come, 'di ba? If bumalik ang mga Dutertes, just to put it very plainly, 'di ba? Which is
Yes.
not impossible after the very strong performance. So actually, nakasabay ko pa si Bongo at si Malu doon sa breakdown sa TV5. Ibang time slot kaya ata eh. But Malu openly was saying lame duck na si BBM but before that, Malu, let's talk about Bongo. Si Bongo, interestingly, obviously was asked kasi nag-number one siya, 27 million votes, very strong performance. He was immediately asked about, okay, what's next, diba? And of course, Bongo being Bongo, self-effacing, hindi, focus muna ako sa mga initiatives. But interestingly, he reminded, sabi niya, hindi nga ako tumakbo nung 2022 kahit ang taas ng approval ni Digong, kahit lahat ng suporta. So basically, he was implying na he sacrificed his chance back in 2022. So parang logically ang implication without him saying it is that maybe he should be part of the conversation coming into 2028. So parang may so because that's an interesting dynamic too, right? Bongo also could come out of this race and make a strong case as being the heir apparent or the next in line, especially if Sarah, we'll discuss it shortly. Kasi ang basa namin ni Justice Carpio dito is, even if Sarah has enough number not to get impeached, if she's damaged politically, meaning, I don't know, binuksan yung bank accounts, lumabas. Bati nga pala yung si Marian Rivera at saka si pangalan niya, si Chel Jo.
Well,
Si Chel Jo na nandun sa mga Miggy Manco list. I mean, it's that ridiculous. So I think
mm,
scenarios, Sarah gets not convicted, but politically undermined. Bongo has a good case to make. Robin Hood has a good case to make, right? So I'm just saying, sobrang interesting because on both sides, baka kailangan ng primaries because they have many good options.
yeah, pwedeng mangyari 'yon. It's a distinct possibility. Ang sinasabi lang naman natin, hindi automatic na dahil nag-number one ka sa Senate, katulad ni Robin Hood Padilla at ni Bongo, ay napakalaki ng chance mo for the presidency. It doesn't happen that way. No? Karamihan, if not all, na nagtap ng Senate ay hindi nanalo as president or vice
Bong
president.
Revilla didn't even win this time. Cynthia Villar didn't even win sa local ngayon. Grace Fu
Hmm.
obviously lost back in 2016. You're right. But I'm just saying it gives you that confidence, right? It gives you
Yeah.
some sort of a pizzazz or panache, right? So, yun lang sinasabi ko. So if you're looking at this race, parang if you're Sara, parang, Bongo is doing very well, di ba? And if you're Bongo, like, yeah, I did very well. Dalawang race na I got more than 20 million votes. The highest vote. Ang laki nga ng agwat niya sa lahat. 27 million, 20 million lang si Bam, di ba? But Sir Ron, I want to focus again on the reason na aspect. Um, don't you think it will also make sense to look at surveys before making decisions on this, aside from also looking at, again, we just talked about how surveys get it wrong, but viability obviously is an issue here, right? And some people are saying Lenny pa rin yung viable. Some are saying, wait, maybe Bamna is really the next one, di ba? Maybe Lenny should focus on mayor. So what I keep on hearing is, from critics, or not necessarily critics, people who may not share our point of view, Ronald, because you and I, we have been saying reason na matagal na. Senator Trillanes has been saying that matagal na. Pero usually lang sinasabi ng tao is that iba pa rin yung charisma ni Lenny, or now Bam may have the way forward. And basically, ang idea is that maybe Rizad still doesn't have that presidential charisma thing. Ang basa ko naman dyan is that's a very problematic argument because we know branding is something that can be worked on, di ba? I mean, just look at the transformation of the late Miriam Defensor over time, right? And how, what was seen as a liability became her ultimate, weapon, right? She turned that, yung criticism na a little bit unhinged into like palaban and all of that. So we have many, I mean, even Lenny, right? Her brand kept
Even
on
Lenny. Even Lenny, dahil
exactly, her
hindi naman siya
brand kept on
mataas before.
improving. Exactly. So,
Mas
can we
mataas sa
discuss
kanya
that, Sir
60
Ronald? Can we
mas
discuss
mataas
the
sa
brand
kanya.
issue?
Kaya depende naman yan eh. Paano nung sumulpot itong reinvigorated na Pink Movement at yung mga disenchanted sa Uniteam ay hindi naman candidate si Risa. So hindi pa tested eh. No? At wala namang survey para pa sa presidential preference going into 2028. Who knows? At ikatlo, baka kinakailangan din mag-ayos ng survey firms bago sila pumasok sa mga bagong surveys, no?
Exactly.
Going into 2028, no? Parang kailangan din nila yung sinasabi nating forensic analysis ng kanilang methodology.
Postmortem. Pati sila kailangan nila ng postmortem, hindi lang mga
Oh.
But I think,
So,
Ronald, finally,
parang
the
yan.
postmortem, no? Postmortem yung opposition, no?
Yes, pero maraming variables at play. Yun yung mahalaga, no? At ang politika naman hindi naman siya exact science eh. Hindi naman siya exact science. So, maraming mga variables na titingnan mo going into 2028. At malaking bahagi niyan is guesswork eh. No? Malaking bahagi niyan is guesswork. Malaking bahagi niyan is uwido, no? Katulad na nakita natin, yung mga naghahanda ng mga kampanya, sila yung natalo. At yung mga hindi naghahanda, sila yung biglang sumulpot ng mga winner. no? So iba yung kwan sa atin dito, iba yung politika sa atin. With very weak institutions ay hindi ganun minsan ka-predictable yung resulta ng ganitong klaseng defining elections. Defining elections.
Yeah, but Sir Ron, 'di ba? I mean, historically naman alam natin whether it's Mitra, whether it's the case of like ang daming mga cases na well organized, Binay for instance, and eventually they faded away come the Venetia, right? Ang daming cases na mga well organized years ahead and there's Gibo even, right? Back in the day. So I'm
From
not surprised.
Mitra, from
Exactly, Mitra,
Mitra to
exactly.
Indonesia to Bilyar.
Villar, exactly. Daming sumablay,
So,
'di ba?
makikita natin yan. Kaya,
Cosmo, si Pinoy, di ba? Out of nowhere siya nanalo, di ba? I mean, that was a big surprise. Tigong also.
kung era pas no machinery, walang political party, walang mga politicians na sumuporta sa kanya nung siya ay tumakbo, no, etc. etc. So maraming ganon. So between now and 2028, susubukin nating pag-aralan yung mga variables, but then again, malaking significant part niyan ay guesswork. No?
Well, okay, ganito. Ako, the way I say contingency, right? There are always gonna be some wild variables na hindi mapapredict ng systems, whether it's analytics, whether it's proper political analysis. But having said that, Sir Ronald, I think one thing we still learned is that malakas yung base pa rin ng mga DDS. The Duterte side performed pretty well. We were talking about our beloved mayor in Baguio, di ba? Si Mayor Magalong, he won. Di ba? I think many people were skeptical he'll win. He won, and we know now on the record malapit siya kay Bongo and Duterte. I raised that. We are family friends and all, but I raised that openly, and he openly explained his logic for that. Isko, who's seen as basically in-endorse pa siya ni Sara or close at least kila Bongo and DDS, he did well. Governor ng Cebu, ganun. So, what I'm saying, Sir Ronald here is that, I don't know, I mean, I think there were some wild, unexpected things, but overall, a lot of basic things held. For instance, in the Congress, panalo pa rin yung admin, di ba? Still, Speaker of the House most likely is going to remain as Martin Romualdez. Lakas still won, still the biggest party. Majority ng gubernatorial positions still went to administration aligned. So, having said that, it looks like ang basa ni BBM is that election was a big slap on his face and that he has to do something drastic in response. So drastic that he's now doing podcast. And of all people, yung pinili niyang ka-podcast is, of course, Uniting People. And even mentioned reconciliation with Sarah. Kaya nga, I jokingly said, yung pala reconciliation, cabinet reshuffle, so let's just push it to its logical conclusion. Di kunin mo na si Sarah para happy na tayo lahat, di ba?
Well, una, huwag natin kalimutan na si Digong ang pinaka nakaabot ng highest approval rating sa kasaysayan ng Pilipinas. So it wasn't insignificant. Nagpa-fluctuate siya between 91, 93% at the height of his approval rating. Ikalawa, super dominant party yung PDP Laban. Halos everybody is a member of PDP Laban. Ang nakita natin, nung hindi na sila presidente, dramatically bumaba yung approval rating na yan to almost half. No? Ikalawa, yung kanilang PDP Laban halos naubos. Halos naubos. Ibig sabihin, nitong nakaraang 3 taon, dramatically, tinamaan din sila. No? At least until October last year. They were going down, si Sara was going down, nasa corner sila until the budget happened, no? Until the budget controversy happened. Doon nabaliktad yung lamesa. Doon tinamaan yung gobyerno. Doon tinamaan yung presidente. At medyo nagsimulang makabangon yung mga Duterte. So, dapat i-contextualize natin what happened. No? Pababa sila noong October hanggang October, medyo nagbago because of the budget controversy. No? At ang sinasabi nila, itong election na ito was a vote for the Duterte? Of course not. Paano? Andun nga yung reality ng mga pink eh. Nandun nga yung reality ng akbayan. Nandun yung reality ng mga disenchanted both sa Duterte at saka sa Marcoses.
Absolutely.
So, mali yung ganong klaseng paliwanag.
Mali talaga yan. Mali talaga. Sir Ron, ako ang basa ko talaga dito.
Variable na pumasok eh.
I think we have
mabago.
exactly the same take. Ako, simple lang argument ko dito is, nabugbog ang alyansa from both sides, right? Dun sa side ng mga kaibigan natin na progressive, yung worst budget ever issue, right? Whether it's Shelo Magno, whether it's other progressives, minention nila yan, yung ayuda issue, PhilHealth issue, Justice Carpio was very much on top of that. I don't think nag-respond ng mabuti ang gobyerno sa mga issue na yan. I think mali talaga. And then, sumama pa tong ICC issue na to, and then sablay yung explanation and justification. So kumbaga bugbog sila from both sides and then naging complacent sila kasi may makinarya sila. But napaka-mediocre naman yung alyansa members. A lot of them are washed up na yung iba, di ba? And hindi sila organized. I mean, there are even people who are blaming Toby, for instance, for his campaign manager. I heard it from internally na may mga
Yes.
galit kay Toby na pumalpak daw yung
Pero
campaign.
yun yung pinakamalaking factor dito. But hindi nila na-weaponize yung mga issues na pwede sanang gamitin against the Duterte. Halimbawa, foreign policy. Strong point yan ng Marcos government. 90% ay galit sa China. Bakit yung nag-number 1 at nag-number 3 ay mga pro-China candidates, pro-China senators? But hindi nila na-weaponize yun. Ang laki nung galit sa China, sa ating population. No? Ikalawa, itong ICC. Bakit si Digong yung naging biktima ng human rights violation? Bakit si Digong yung naging biktima ng kawalan ng rule of law, due process, etc.? Bakit hindi mo na-weaponize yung mga biktima in their thousands? Families, parents,
Humanize
sons,
rather, like humanize them so that
humanize and then
Digong, oh.
weaponize them
Yeah.
against the Duterte. Bakit hindi mo nagamit yon, di ba? Yung mga sinasabi ng presidente during the campaign trail na na-mismanage yung COVID, na massive graft and corruption, lalo na doon sa Parmali, etc. Bakit hindi na-weaponize yun? Ba't hindi man lang yun binanggit ng kanyang mga kandidato in the nung campaign trail at yung kanyang cabinet secretary na tahimik, hindi man lang ginamit yan, no? Doon sa kanilang particular departments at saka niches, di ba? So parang talagang napakalaki ng kakulangan ng
Perfect
gobyerno.
storm, yeah. Perfect storm, yeah.
Oo. Not only because ginamit ng mga Duterte yung issues nila against the Marcos government, but because the Marcos government failed to use these issues against the Dutertes. No?
And by the way, Sir Ronald, we have been saying this forever, right? We saw these weaknesses for admin for a
Years.
very long time. The only reason lang na we thought the admin will do better slightly is because of the surveys, right? Pero honestly, these weaknesses, you and I have been, nakailang episodes na tayo nasabi natin. Kunyari, itong issue na, kung kailan nag-level up si BBM dun sa lawag, na nag-all out siya, kami, wala kaming farmali, kami, hindi duwag sa China, kami, ganun, di ba? And then walang follow through yung alyansa, walang follow through. Wala. And then naiwan sa si BBM. So actually, team failed him. His campaign team failed BBM also. So
tapos yung campaign manager mo, ang sinisisi yung impeachment. Yung campaign manager ng alyansa, sinisi lahat, no? Maliban sa sarili niya. Diba?
Ito yung campaign manager na nagsabi si Camille Villar ay admin pa rin after in-endorse ng mga Duterte.
After in-endorse nung gustong ipapatay yung kanyang boss. No?
That was postmodern. That was very postmodern.
Pero another elephant in the room ay yung kawalan ng reform package. No? Maraming sinasabi sa SONA pero hindi naman na-implement. Sinasabi sa SONA na dudurugin yung mga cartels, dudurugin yung mga smugglers, yung mga hoarders, wala ka naman nakitang nakulong. 'Di ba? Sinasabi sa SONA yung sila ay magiging sensitive sa mga issues ng mga mahihirap katulad ng inflation, especially food inflation, wages, etc. Pero nasaan na? Where's the beef? No? Where's the beef? Tapos lahat ng tao nakakaramdam ng problema sa kalusugan. Tapos isisiro budget mo yung PhilHealth. Diba? So yung mga ganun ba, yung ganung klaseng reform agenda, parang tinamaan ng gusto. Habang yung mga Duterte ginagamit yung food inflation, ginagamit yung crime, ginagamit yung wages, no? Ay yung gobyerno hindi nagamit 'yon. No? Hindi nagamit yung substance na 'yon. So ayun. So we are here sa isang crisis management attempt ng gobyerno na isa sa crisis management attempt ay itong cabinet revamp. no?
Which you endorse very much. I've heard from people inside saying,
Yes,
si
from
Ronald
a year
Llamas nga,
ago.
sobrang tuwang-tuwa dun eh.
Oh, a year ago, sinasabi. Tapos 5 days ago, sinabi ko yan. No? Para masimulan silang makaalis doon sa epic fail ng midterm election, mag-cabinet revamp. Diba? Cabinet secretaries should fall on their sword for the president na para meron namang masisi para sa disaster na ito. Dahil kung walang masisisi, ang masisisi ay yung presidente. No? Yung presidente lang ang masisisi.
Well,
No?
except, last time I checked, ang napalitan is yung DFA secretary. I'm not sure how is that relevant to the local
Oo.
election. I can see the relevance on the China issue because yung bagong DFA secretary ngayon is someone who has been dealing with China in bilateral consultative mechanisms. So maybe this signals that we want to improve diplomacy with China. Maybe Xi Jinping will come here next year for ASEAN from my understanding. Okay, pero anong kinalaman nito sa election? And then yung DNR and DOE pinalitan. I just interviewed si DOE secretary, ngayon DNR na siya. So but the economic team is basically intact. Hindi rin pinalitan yung other key positions. Hindi binigay sa DND si Sara Duterte. So, anong reshuffle ang nangyari? Hindi ko gets. Ano yung reshuffle sa reshuffle na yan, Sir Ronald?
Yeah, dapat sana kung ikaw ay mag-revamp in one blow, isang buhos. Lahat ng tatanggalin mo, whether isang dosena yan, i-announce mo na kagad. No? Para hindi siya parang striptease. O magtatanggal ka ng 4, tapos next Wednesday,
Sir
magtatanggal ka
Ronald, Sir Ronald,
ng
thirst
no?
trap po.
Oh.
Thirst trap ang term ngayon. Medyo ano na masyado, sexist yung thirst trap.
Sige, sige, hindi striptease.
Thirst
Increments, no? Revamp by increments, no? By increments. So dapat isang buhos na lang. Tapos hindi rigo doon. Hindi yung tatanggalin mo rito tapos lilipat mo rito, di ba? So, ang sabi pa naman ni ES Bersamin, kaya sila tinatanggal because of incompetence, inefficiency, or corruption, or both. Pero at the same time, sabi ni ES Bersamin, pero pwede silang mailipat. Sinabi mo lang inefficient at saka incompetent, sinabi mo lang corrupt, tapos pwede silang mailipat. So what was that about? So, what was that? Alam ko hindi sanay si ES Bersamin sa mga press conference, no? Pero dapat may nagbigay sa kanya ng talking points na dapat hindi naman ganon, no? Hindi naman ganon. Bakit mo ililipat yung incompetent at saka corrupt sa ibang posisyon? No? Paano mo i-justify 'yon? So nawawala yung essence ng cabinet revamp, no? Yung nawawala yung essence ng isang restart dahil inamin mo sa interview mo kay Tonying na meron kang pagkukulang, inamin mo na gusto mong maging stronger leader na dapat naman kahit papaano kinakatakutan, at inamin mo na kinakailangan mo mag-empathize more sa problema ng mga mamamayan. So, batay sa ganyang klaseng messaging, no? Batay sa ganyang narrative change, lagyan mo naman ng substance. At ito yung substance, cabinet revamp at saka reform agenda. Pero dapat yung cabinet revamp mo should be done in such a way na idadramatize nito yung gusto mong messaging na ikaw ay nagre-restart in the middle of your term ng isang BBM 2.0. No? Ginagawa mo yon. Pero kung ginagawa mo yung cabinet revamp by increments, 4, tapos 6, tapos 8, no? Parang nababawasan yung impact. Tapos ilalagay mo pa, ano kinalaman yung energy secretary na walang nagawa para pababain ang presyo ng kuryente? Anong kinalaman niya sa environment, no? Usually nga may contradiction yung energy sa environment dahil yung ating primary energy source ay fossil fuel. So, hindi ko masyadong maintindihan, no? Bakit dun siya inilagay, no? Yung ba ay face saving, graceful exit, or merong mga naglalabi? Yun yung problema, Richard, na kung gagawin mo yung cabinet revamp ng by increments, halimbawa, over the weekend, yung mga interest groups, yung mga backers nitong mga cabinet secretary na pwedeng matanggal, maglalabi yan. Dapat hindi mo bigyan ng space para sa lobbying. Dapat hindi mo bigyan ng space para sa ganyang klaseng pressures. Dapat in one blow, tanggalin mo na. So wala nang maglalabi. Dahil natanggal mo na eh. Ngayon, as we speak, ang daming lobbying na nangyayari.
Yeah, kaya nga sabi ko, okay, how does changing DFA secretary help with this issue? How does just reshuffling energy for environment help it? Your core economic team is completely intact, no change there. The only one I can think about is Menardo Guevara, right? Kasi parang sabi ng iba, basically this was a trap to take out Menardo Guevara and your favorite, Bersamin. There were expectation na si Bersamin ay papalitan din.
Tatanggalin si Bersamin.
Yun nga eh,
Hindi
but
siya,
people
yun,
thought baka
sudyado
yun
ko yun.
lang.
Oh, hindi siya tatanggalin, no? Oh, si Guevara nga, hindi pa siguradong tatanggalin. Yun ang dapat inuna, no? Ikalawa, sabi ko nga doon sa isang interview kahapon, kung ayaw nilang galawin yung economic team para daw sa continuity, no, etc. Dapat man lang isang bahagi ng economic team ay maging fall guy. Dahil yung targets ng iyong economic team hindi naabot. 7% growth rate, 6% growth rate, 5% growth rate. Hindi ko na alam kung ano na target ngayon eh. No, ano na target ngayon. So somebody, no, has to pay for that. If
It
not
should
the
be
whole team,
finance,
oh,
either finance, Department of, well, NEDA is now National
budget,
Development Department,
no,
or
NEDA,
agriculture, or
mm,
agriculture.
oo. So, halimbawa, agriculture is bringing down economic growth, no? Tapos yung mga promisa ng presidente sa agriculture hindi naman naaabot. So, at the very least, kinakailangan may fall guy diyan, no? Kung hindi yung secretary, at least yung mga undersecretary. Or else, yung buong problema sa agriculture ay sisisihin yung presidente. Yung buong problema sa economy, sisisihin yung presidente. Yung buong problema sa tourism, na target ay pre-pandemic
Ay, isa
levels,
pa yan.
10 million
Pumakta ka
tourists.
numbers, yeah.
Oh, yun ay 5 million lang.
Yeah.
Sinong sisihin doon? Ang sisihin yung presidente. Yun yung purpose ng cabinet revamp. Para mawala yung onus sa presidente.
Mm.
No? Mawala yung onus. Ngayon, kung ililipat mo lang, what was that about? Anong cabinet revamp yun?
Ano to, Sir Ronald, musical chair? Yung, di ba minsan hindi gumagalaw yung iba sa musical chair, tapos yung iba umikot-ikot, yung tapos halos walang nawala ng position. Nag-ikot ng konti, yung iba ayaw umikot, gumagano-ganon, nagstay tuloy
Oo.
sa position nila. I mean,
Tinanggal yung DFA, nilagay sa UN. Tinanggal yung DOE, nilagay sa environment na hindi ko makita yung logic, no? Tapos
housing.
oo,
Yeah.
housing advisor, no?
Oo, hindi ko maintindihan yung parang postmodern masyado. Baka Sir Ronald, it's above our head daw eh. Masyado daw ano eh,
Baka
Machiavellian.
pre-modern. Baka pre-modern.
Medieval.
Oh, pre-modern kaysa postmodern eh. No, pre-modern, it's about relationships eh. 'Di ba? It's about feudal relationships.
Medieval nga, medieval nga. Um, last, Sir Ronald, pag-usapan naman natin yung, well, how much can you talk about it ba? Yung West Philippine Sea issue and all. At least this is in the news. You don't have to give logistical details. Pero di ba, tuloy itong effort, di ba? Ng atin to.
Well, una, nagkaroon na naman ng harassment sa BIFAR. Diba? Sa Scarborough yata. Winatarkano na naman. After alal ng several months, eto na naman yung incident. Ibig sabihin ay hindi to mag-scale down. Hindi to mag-scale down. No? Kaya yung atin ito ay nag-organize ng third civilian convoy na medyo naiiba. Una ay ang form nito ay isang peace concert. Ikalawa, hindi lang mga Pinoy ang kasama. May kasamang mga Korean K-pop bands, may kasamang Japanese singer, may kasamang Malaysian singer, may kasamang Indonesian singers, no? May kasamang Vietnamese singers,
Alright.
no? May kasamang
Taylor
Philippine
Swift.
bands, no? May mga kwan. So, iba-ibang bansa yung represented dito. Yun yung naiiba. Tapos pupunta siya dun sa westernmost edge ng ating EEZ, no? Sa Pag-asa. Doon siya pupunta. Ang alam ko ngayong gabi ay aalis sila papunta ng El Nido at doon magkakaroon ng isa ring concert sa El Nido. Pero sa dagat. Sa dagat, no? Sa gitna ng dagat. Tapos kinabukasan, isa-send off sila ng 100, 200 bangkas, no? Papunta doon sa EEZ. Palabas ng ating sovereign waters. Ano yung mga bangka hindi na pwede sa sa high seas eh, no? Dahil masyado na maalon 'yon. So ihahatid sila tapos yung mother boat, yung mothership ay tutuloy na sa Pag-asa at sa Pag-asa sasalubungin naman sila ng mga mangingisda galing sa Pag-asa Island. At doon magkakaroon ng another concert, ng main concert sa gitna ng dagat. No? So, pero ang essence ay ito ay isang peace concert. Ayaw namin ng gera. Ang gusto lang namin ay manatili sa amin yung amin. No? Wag mambuli, wag magkaroon ng aggression, lalo na nung biggest army in the world and biggest navy in the world. No? Yun yung mensahe. Tapos marami mga sasama na hindi nakasama last time. Halimbawa, yung apo ni Corazon Aquino, si Professor Kiko Aquino D, kasama diyan, no? Kasama diyan yung mga artists at yung kanilang mga staff diyan sa barko, no? Of course, kasama yung dati ng commander, si Rafaela David, yung presidente ng Akbayan, and mga ilang mga leaders pa, no?
Ronald,
Kaya
parang,
medyo maganda yan, no?
Sir
Naiba.
Ronald, um, ikaw ba nag-organize lahat? Parang team yap na bang tawag ko sa isa? Parang ang daming
Oh,
concert.
wala tayo kinalaman diyan.
Napaka-international.
Wala tayo kinalaman diyan. Tayo ay nag-o-observe lang, no?
Parang mahirap maniwala na wala kang kinalaman sa mga
Kailan
BTS,
ka, kailan ka ba
K-pop.
kailan ka ba naniwala sa akin? Wala nga akong alam diyan sa mga K-pop. Hindi pa nga ako nakapanood ng isang K-pop na palabas.
Pero alam mo yung Polish na sumali sa Japan Miss Universe contest noong 1997 ba yun? Sa
Oo, oo.
yung mga, mga pop culture knowledge mo minsan ay incredibly
Oo.
surprising.
Galing ako ng Vienna. Pinoy yung nanalo ron dun sa Euro Music Competition, no? Na dati
Ayaw
nanalo
nga
diyan yung
pala,
ABBA.
no? Oo nga, no? Akala ko
Nanalo diyan
Sweden yung...
Pinoy,
Ano
Pinoy
Sweden?
Austrian. Si JJ
Hindi nanalo
Peach.
yung Sweden?
Hindi.
Oh, I
Ah,
thought Sweden.
Pinoy
Oh,
Austrian yung nanalo. No?
oh wow.
Kaya tuwan-tuwa sila sa Vienna nung
Tingnan mo
pumunta
yung pop
ako.
culture ko, I'm zero. I mean, like, I was all the time, I thought Sweden ang mananalo. Anyway,
Hindi.
Sarah, before I will close this, we forgot to mention her, Sara Duterte. Is the trial gonna happen? And do you think it will be a Mickey Mouse trial or a real trial, given the balance of forces?
Well, it could be mixed. Dahil marami ka kasing Mickey Mouse doon, kaya it could be a Mickey Mouse trial. Pero seryoso siya, no? Dahil nga medyo magiging defining trial 'yan eh. No? Yan yung first trial, no, ng Vice President during sa isang panahon na yung two major dynasties ay nagbubungguan isa sa isang existential battle at habang nangyayari yan sa shadow ng great game ng superpowers na merong kinakampihan, no? So medyo very compelling, very defining yung magiging trial na yan kahit marami kang clowns na magpa-participate as judges.
Baka Disneyland nga. So, ano dapat gawin? Tatlo
Mga
na lang eh.
circus. Sabi nga ni Sarah, bloodbath. Bloodbath, di
Medyo
ba?
Mortal Kombat yata ang gusto niya.
Oh, bloodbath, no? Talagang kung ano,
Blood, ewan ko kay Sarah talaga. Feeling ko, minsan nagtatroll na rin siya sa atin. Eh. Pinapatulan lang natin yung pagtatroll niya. But so what can Kiko, Riza, and Bam do? Tatlo lang silang vote. Can they have any effect? Given their
well,
numbers.
win or lose, pwede nilang gawing opportunity yan to shine. Lalo na kasama sa prosecution, allies nila. Si Laila at saka si Shell. So, if they play their cards right, pwedeng magandang campaign going to 2028. Diba? Win or lose. Minsan kasi yung pagkatalo is better than a victory. Katulad ng victory ng unit team. No? It unraveled almost overnight. Tapos yung failure
Big
o yung
victory, yeah.
defeat ng Pink ay naging glorious defeat na hanggang ngayon ay merong impact. 3 years later. So, win or lose sa impeachment, it could be very defining
Yeah.
para kila Risa, para kila Kiko, para kila Bam, at
And
para
Shell,
kay
Chok,
Chel,
no?
at
And
kila
Shell, and
Leila.
Layla, and Layla.
Sila
Yeah,
yung
exactly.
prosecution. No?
Exactly,
Kaya hindi yan magmamonkey business at hindi yan clowns. Hindi yan magmi-Mickey Mouse. At dahil marami Mickey Mouse, magsha-shine sila. Di ba? Parang tayo. Dahil nagsha-shine tayo, dahil marami sa mga katulad natin ay medyo kinakapos. No? So,
Hindi, Sir Ronald, Mortal
hindi
Kombat
dahil
tayong dalawa eh.
hindi dahil magaling tayo, no? Wala akong sinasabing gano'n, no? Hindi dahil magaling tayo. Dahil
Sige
teka
lang,
lang,
Sir Ronald.
hindi ko na alam. Baka malubog tayo na malubog
Oo
sa
nga,
community.
I think we can close the night, Sir Ronald. Pagod ka, baka may
Oo,
sasabihin ka.
oo.
Let's
Para
just
mabawasan yung galit sa atin, no?
Sir Ronald, we're just reminding everyone of our sincere humility, 'di ba? Hindi tayo nagbuhat ng bangko. Nung binuhat ko
Oo.
ng konting inch, binaba mo kaagad. Pangalawa,
Oo.
sinasabi natin na hindi tayo magagalit.
Self-deprecating, di ba? Oo.
Oo, self-deprecating. Tawag nga sa akin ni Gretchen Ho ngayon, pandit na lang eh. Medyo nada-downgrade ako every time ako na-interview eh, from political
Hindi
science.
ako, kinukuha ko na lahat eh. Pag pinapakilala akong political pundit or analyst, sinasabi ko, una, ang political analyst, no, ay dapat graduate, no? Ikalawa, may nasulat, no?
Palindro
Ikatlo,
or
ay
something.
may detachment, may objectivity, di ba?
Ay, meron tayo
May
niyan, Sir Ronald. Meron
oo,
tayo.
at ikapat, well paid, no?
Yun ang medyo...
Yung lahat ng yon, yung lahat ng yon, well, wala ako. No, yung lahat ng yon wala ako. Kaya sabi ko, madalang ako political alaskador, political
Ayun.
hack. Oo,
Mickey
para
Mouse analyst.
hindi
Mickey
naman
Mouse.
magalit sa akin yung mga iba dyan na nasasabi, papanggap lang ng analyst yan, no? Doon sa kwan. Ayun naman hindi ko ginagawa, magpanggap. No?
Okay.
I call a spade a spade. Oo.
Sir Ronald, real talkers tayo, real talkers. On that note, I hope everyone is reassured na friends pa rin kami ni Sir Ronald. Kasi di ba, ang tagal na natin hindi nag-uusap, Sir Ronald. Hindi tayo nag
Parehas tayong travelers eh. No,
Oo
parehas
eh.
tayong travelers, no?
We are
Oh.
nomads. We're nomads, Sir Ronald. We're the Marco Polos of ano. We're the romantics. Lord Byrons. So, wait lang, baka mga sasabihin na naman ako, Sir Ronald. So on that note,
Okay,
rest.
okay na yan. Baka kung saan na naman tayo umabot. Eh.
Oh, we'll stop it here. But Sir Ronald, hopefully to have you soon sa studio naman. Kasama naman tayo soon ha. Marami tayong pag-usapan, Sir Ronald. And on that note, looking forward to catching up with you in person. Please ingat ka, Sir Ronald. Take care of yourself. Stay young, stay fresh. Kasi baka nga sa 2028, ikaw na itulak namin mag-senador at the ratings are going
Stay
sa
humble.
being humility, Sir Ronald. Thank you so much for saving me from myself tonight. Thank you so much. God bless.